All right. Welcome, everybody, again to the Mercer FCA podcast, episode number 12 today with Mr. Kaleb Frost. Super excited to be able to have Kaleb on today. Kaleb, we are about, I don't know, man. I was just in here thinking maybe 15 hours post winning another
Yeah,
conference championship. So,
yeah,
let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute, man. What about that game last night?
yeah. My voice is still gone, so like, with all the screaming and yelling that was going on, but it was definitely crazy. It's probably the craziest game I've ever been a part of. So it was great to see though. It was great to see us get a win and get a conference championship down and going back to back. But that was a crazy game.
Man,
Crazy.
yeah, it was, to be able to come back and, we were kind of talking about it on the way home with, like the Sports Mike guys with me. Like we did like a post game recap show on the truck,
Yeah,
like in the truck on the way home and just kind of recapping the game. And, being down 21-18 at half and coming up and going up by 2 scores multiple times in the second half, just to have them come right back, retake the lead,
yeah,
clutch kick down there, by Reese to be able to put us back on top. And then, man, sometimes the prayer is working over there on the
yeah.
sideline, man, and
hmm
to be able to celebrate it there, on a long road trip and everything else, man. But man, back to back years, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. We all thought because I'm up in the press box with the other coaches, and we was like, did he make that? Like, so like at the end, when Western Carolina's kicker kicked it, we was like, dang, did he make it? And then we saw the Western Carolina fans rush the field. We was like, no. And then we were like, wait a minute, no, he missed it. So it was pretty
Yeah.
crazy up there.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it was like for y'all. So, like, we were down there like super close. So, I mean, like, out here trying to look at the field goal post, like it's hard to tell, like from that
Yeah,
angle, because you're, sideways looking at it. And, they're all like, all of their student section is rushing on, but then we're all like rushing on as well. And so I was just trying to find the officials, like, just show me
yeah.
the signal, show me the call. And, man, but what a celebration. How was the ride home?
Right, I couldn't sleep. I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. It was just the adrenaline, just the excitement and whatnot.
Yeah,
I couldn't. It was a great bus ride back home. So glad to be
absolutely,
back.
man.
I will say that glad to be back, and then having our homecoming next week and
Yeah.
senior night. I'm glad to be back. So
Absolutely. Well, man, hey, before we get going, just a reminder, we're looking for 10 families here to be able to give $40 a month to the Mercer FCA, like the program and the mission and everything that we are doing. So the QR code is there on the screen. All of the links are in the info stuff. So please be thinking about that. Please be praying about that. We started this semester by having a goal to have 12 families be able to do that. And we've had 2 families already step up to be able to do that. So we're still looking for 10 families to give $40 a month. And if you choose, maybe you pray about it and God said, hey, how about giving $80 a month? And that could take the place of 2 families. So you could really be helping us out with that. Everything 100% that you give goes directly to this mission and everything that we're doing on the campus. And man, it's paying off because after that game yesterday and the emotions of that, and being down there, obviously being able to make the trip up and kind of be there on the road with the team and with the coaches. Man, I can't tell you how many players came up to me, hugged me, and said, "God is so good." You
hmm
know, and that there was like an affirmation again to me of just being like, man, like it's traveling through the team, like like the
yeah,
team feels like that presence of God is kind of always around it now, and just a lot of praying and just be able to talk about the Bible. We've talked a lot about it during our huddles, but I just feel that's a good sign and a good message to the team, man, and like
hmm
it's like it's actually paying off.
yeah. It most definitely is. I know a lot of the guys have really been appreciative of your morning talks before the games and stuff like that. So it's definitely impacting the team in a positive way. So we appreciate
Yeah.
you for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Kaleb Frost, for everybody. So this is episode number 12 of the Mercer FCA podcast. Kaleb, quickly, man, let's go ahead and dive into it, man. Kind of give us a background where like you're from and kind of what your family life was like.
Yeah. So obviously Kaleb Frost here, and I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Been living there basically majority of my life. Was born in Illinois. My dad was a college football coach, so we was moving around decent amount in my early years. So I was born in Illinois, moved in Rhode Island. And then we went to Charleston when I was 4. So I moved 3 times before I was 4. So yeah, it was just a lot going on. So my dad was a minister. I can't remember exactly what year he became a minister, but he was a minister, was in ministry. So I was always in the church, but I would like to say like I was there, but I wasn't really there. Like I was just there just because I was forced to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. So then my dad became a pastor later on. So once again, just always in the church. But I wasn't physically there. I was just there just because I was forced to. Other than that, though, came here to Mercer in 2022, June 6, 2022. Never forget the date, actually. So been through that. Was on the football team from my freshman, sophomore, and then a little bit of my junior year. Medically retired during my junior year of fall camp. And now I'm a student assistant here, working with the linebackers right now. But I was with the corners last year because that was the position I played. So yeah, so that's basically like the summary of what's been going on in my life. So quick little,
Man, yeah, man, I love it. Let's so much that we could definitely unwrap. Like I know we're on like a little bit of a time crunch here. As Kaleb gotta head back over to the field house to prepare for this week's game as well. So, man, so let's just kind of start. Like I know you said, kind of bounce around, a lot of moving and everything like that. Especially, it like always seems that way for everybody I talk to, that either their mom or dad were like is in like the armed services, so they're having to move from that, or if mom or dad was a coach and they're having to move around for that. It seems to always be a very common trait of that. But like you said, like kind of moved a lot there early on. Talk a little bit now about like maybe elementary up to like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Was that a pretty stable place? And when did sports kind of begin for you?
Yeah. It was definitely stable. So my dad got the job at Charleston Southern when I was 4. He stayed there until I was about, I want to say 7 or 8. Then he became a high school coach for a year and then went into FCA. I forgot to mention that. He went into FCA at the Citadel. So we stayed in Charleston basically for a very long amount of time. So it was pretty stable. Now, when it comes to sports and whatnot, my dad didn't let us actually, me and my little brother, he didn't let us play football until middle school. So I was really just playing basketball in elementary school and stuff like that. Basketball and track. I didn't really play like soccer or baseball. Not playing baseball is one of my biggest regrets, actually. But yeah, so I've been playing sports basically all my life. But football, I knew I always wanted to play football as a kid. Just growing up around it, I knew I always wanted to play football. So ended up doing that my 8th grade year. I started playing football in 8th grade. Just like any other kid, just having a ball, just playing it, being with my boys, stuff like that. And I started off as a receiver, but like we were running the triple option, so there wasn't a lot of throwing.
There's a lot of blocking.
Yeah, a lot of blocking. I was basically a receiver, not a receiver, offensive lineman. So I had to do all that type of stuff. So then I made the decision to switch to DB my junior year, and that ended up being very good for me, obviously, because now I'm here. That was a great switch for me. Junior year, and then senior year was kind of when I blew up. I had a really good senior year, and I was able to get an opportunity to come here and play football at Mercer. So, that's pretty much it from a sports perspective.
Tell me this, because this is something that, again, like you already know kind of my story, last 15 years being, as like a football coach in the 7th and 8th grade level, stuff like that, high school and all. And so this is something that I always kind of wanted to know, like this is a great like research project in terms of this, of like what, like maybe the level of success or the level of adaptation that is kind of required of guys that are already playing like tackle football at like 8, 9, 10 years old, and them coming up into like 7th and 8th grade football, or those kind of like you that never really played tackle football, but then all of a sudden like you get up in there and like it's just a quick, man, like here we are, now you are at 13, 14 years old playing. How was that for you? Like, was that like a tough adjustment in terms of like learning the contact and like the overall like being, toughness of the sport,
Right.
or did you just go right into it just because you were already kind of expecting it?
Yeah, no, it was definitely it was definitely an adjustment when it came to like contact. I remember that because I was small. I was really small. I can
Mhm.
remember I was like 100 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
105 pounds in eighth grade. So it was definitely an adjustment. Like don't get that twisted. It was hard for
Yeah.
me, but like the skill set of it wasn't hard for me because I always moved around doing drills in the backyard with my dad or with my brother.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that wasn't the hard part. It was like the tackling, the contact part of it, and
Mm.
taking hits. That was kind of the hard part of it. But once you got used to it, it became normal. Like I would say I didn't really get used to it till my sophomore year. My
Mm.
sophomore year of high school, that's when I was kind of like, okay, like that's football at this point. But it definitely wasn't an adjustment like my eighth grade year. There's so many times like I was tripping. But yeah, it worked out for me though, so I can't
Yeah,
complain.
there's nothing quite like those first 2 weeks of having your neck always sore,
Yeah,
of just the constant whiplash,
yeah,
and like like your forehead's always mashed in and kind of bruised up and stuff. And so yeah, man, like that's it's just kind of always, because we would have some of those players, like a good mix of both sides of that, of guys that that grew up playing tackle football all the time. Like, I mean, we would have guys that and there would be 8 years old playing like travel tackle football, so they would go to a tournament and play like 4 games in one day,
yeah.
of just 8 of just pop pop pop
Mhm.
like just all the time. And so it's just always kind of curious, kind of see how that like overall like adjustment is. So now with that, like you said, so having your dad obviously has the athletic background of that, being a college athlete and
Mhm.
a college coach and everything with that, but also dad also being a very spiritual advisor for you as well.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that like? What was like church life like for you during this time?
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely great having my dad around and just being an influence for me in a positive way when it comes to obviously just being a great dad and
Mhm.
like just being around the church and whatnot. Like he really tried his best with me and my little brother, just guiding us in a godly manner. And like I said earlier, like he was a campus director at the Citadel, so
Mhm.
I really got to witness FCA like a lot, a lot. I've been to like the camps, the Black Mountain camps, the high
Mhm.
school camps that he had to run. So like I really got to see FCA early on. So I know I had a really good background of that. And then when it just comes to coming with the church, it was just great just seeing them up there and just impacting other people's lives in a positive way.
Mhm.
And just trying to see like where I can fit in really, because it was kind of hard for me, just being like a preacher's kid and stuff like that, because like you literally couldn't do anything wrong.
Mhm.
Like you had to be there, like sit down, be quiet, like it just.
Mhm.
And for me, like I'm always out. I'm just out there, so like it was different for me. Um, yeah, so it was definitely it was great to have that figure for me though. Just like I said earlier, just being there for me and just guiding me spiritually, and
Mhm.
just being a great dad. So yeah,
Did y'all have like anything in your, in terms of home life? Everybody's home life is always different in terms of like rules of the house and,
yeah.
kind of procedures, day-to-day stuff that like your family kind of always does. What
Hmm.
was that, what was that like for y'all? Obviously having your dad is just in this kind of a role, but
Yeah,
what were some of that stuff that kind of sticks out to you that maybe you kind of learn from now, and whenever you get to have a family, you may try to like instill on your family?
yeah. I can tell you one right now. Like I think about this all the time. For New Year's, we always do
Mm.
a Bible study and prayer for New Year's. The moment the clock hits 12, we pray and then we go
Mm.
into a Bible study, just carrying on the word into the new year. So like we've been doing that since I don't like it's been
Yeah.
a very long time, like probably like 8 or 9 years old. So that's something that like as a child I didn't really appreciate.
Hmm.
Um, but like now that I've gotten older and gotten a little bit closer to God, like I will most definitely be doing that with my family. Um, so that's one thing that I picked up on. We always did Bible studies as a
Hmm.
family with my mom. So it's just we've always done we've done little things like that outside of the church. Always going to Bible studies, to the church on Wednesdays, stuff like that. So yeah, and putting me in like little like I remember in middle school and high school, just little young groups,
Mm-hmm.
like with other high school and middle school students. So yeah, we always had to do something, but the one that sticks out the most was the New Year's Bible study. So
that's, I'm kind of asking for my own personal gain here to kind of
yeah,
see like,
yeah,
man, what else can I start doing with the family,
yeah.
and yeah, okay. So like, did y'all, did you ever go on any kind of like a mission trip or like service projects or anything that, like you said, kind of outside of the church, but
Mhm.
also, putting boots on the ground, like trying to spread the gospel?
Yeah. So we didn't do a lot of mission trips, like going out the country. I know like the
Yeah.
church that my dad preaches at, they do that, but I know for us, like so my dad had a church called the Bridge, and we used to do prayer walks. So we used to go around. We used to go around North
Okay.
Charleston, and just do prayer walks and stuff like that. Just going around, because you need a lot of prayer down in that city, in North Charleston. So
Mhm.
we'll just go around, just start praying for people, walking around praying.
Hmm.
Yeah, just little things like that. Like that's the one thing that sticks out the most, is those prayer walks. So I think it really did impact people's lives, because I think prayer is the easiest way to get to people without even having to just like Luke 30, like stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just giving out like Bible.
Yeah.
I think just people just need prayer. Like especially for
Yeah.
people who aren't Christians. Just a little gesture like that will go a long way. So we used to do prayer walks. So
And it sounds like a great project for
mm,
the FCA huddle to kind of just walk around
yeah,
campus one
yeah,
day and be able to do something like that. And that's, we've kind of talked about that in our huddle time in terms of an easy way to be a conversation starter of the gospel is just, hey man, can I pray for you?
hmm,
And it's like, I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure there are people that will say no to that, but that's a hard question to turn down. Like, because literally all you have to do is just sit there and let someone pray over you, and it's an easy way to kind of show your faith to other people, but also be
yeah,
a good conversation starter and kind of get that
hmm,
going with somebody. So man, I'll do like a prayer walk sounds like a great experience for you growing up, and obviously seeing
hmm,
the like the positives of that, and man, something that we can definitely try to redo
yeah, yeah,
on the campus as well. So all right, so now let's kind of go back to the sports world. So
yeah.
up into high school, like you said, wide receiver, had to make that switch over to DB, and so was it just football throughout high school, or like track or anything else? Like, what else was kind of going on?
Yeah, yeah. So it was football and track in high school. That was the two main sports. I won state my junior year in track for the 4x4.
Okay.
That was a great experience doing that type of stuff. Yeah, that was a great time. That was a great time. Yeah, so it was basically just track and football those
Yeah.
all 4 years. I tried to do. So this is where baseball comes into comes into tag.
Okay.
So I tried to do baseball my senior year, because I used to just joke around like stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try baseball,
Yeah.
and I was really liking it. Like I was kind of enjoying it. I sucked, obviously. Like I don't know what I was doing. Like I couldn't swing a bat to save my life, but I enjoyed it though. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like if I can somehow make the team, like I would want to play baseball. Now
Mm,
baseball was during track season,
right.
so after I told my dad that, like he wasn't going for that. Like he was just like, no, like that's not happening.
Yeah.
I was just like, and that's when I had my so I just okay. So another reason why I couldn't play, because I tore my labrum in my throwing shoulder
Mm,
during one of my all-star games for football in December. And he was like, no, like you're not gonna make it worse throwing. Which at that time I was like, man,
yeah.
no, like I look, he wanted to play, but he was like, no, that's really dumb. Like don't do that. Like
Yeah.
you have more than just like you got like you're about to play football. Like, because that's when I was already committed to Mercer at that point. He was like, no, you're about to play football in college.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like you're not like I was brainless. Like I was brainless. So yeah, it was something.
So this is literally like, a couple months away from graduation and you're trying to play baseball for the team?
So it was a couple months. It was a couple months. No, it was a month after I committed to Mercer. So it was around like February, end of January.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was the timeline. So yeah, I was just a dumb kid at that point. But yeah.
That's great. That's great. So all right, so when did college athlete, when did that thought kind of, really start getting close to you in terms of, man, I can really do this? And was it always the football route, or were you trying to go track as well?
Yeah. So in football, I knew like I could really do it. It was my senior summer. So going into the fall, just going through that process, because my junior year wasn't that great. In my opinion, it wasn't the greatest. So I knew I had to do like a lot of work to really get to that point of achieving my dream, which was playing Division I football. And my senior summer, I just worked my butt off that entire summer, and I just knew like, okay, I can play Division I football. And then just going through the fall camp of everything in high school, going through the what's it called, the scrimmages, all that type of stuff. I was like, I got this. Like I'm not even tripping about it no more. So that's when I really knew. And then track, I was really a jumper. So I was a decent jumper. I wasn't the greatest jumper on earth, but I was a decent jumper. Like with the right coaching, I could have actually done something. I never really thought about track sports, but like my mom was a big time athlete at University of Washington. She ran track at Washington. So like she was like, hey, you need to run track, do track in college. I was like, yeah, but I'm probably not. But it's always been football. It's been football in my mind since I was like 5 years old, literally. I knew for a fact like I wanted to play college football. Basketball was in the picture. Like I knew I wanted to play college football, and really get the experience, specifically Division I football. So that was really my goal since I was a young child. So now I got to achieve it. So it was definitely a dream come true. I know my younger self definitely proud of me. So
yeah, no, absolutely. So all right, so now you make that commitment. Coming to Mercer, you already talked about it. You can remember the day. Tell me about coming onto campus for the first time and what that was like for you.
Oh my God, yeah, that was okay. So when I came in, I was excited, but it took me deep when my dad had to leave, and he started like he didn't cry. I'm not gonna put him out there like that. He didn't cry.
Yeah.
But like when he started praying for me before, because he had to go, because he had to preach the next. Did he have to preach the next day? He had to go for some reason earlier.
Yeah.
Because they had like a little parent dinner and stuff like that, and he had to leave, so we couldn't stay for that. So when he prayed with me at the field house, I started to like choke up a little bit. Like,
I bet,
like this is really it. Like my dad's really my rock. So like it was like, okay, like this is really it. Like I'm about to, that hurts. So then I walked into the team room. That's where they had the dinner, and I was just me and Coach Taylor. Shout out Coach Taylor. He sat with me. He was the one that really was heavily involved in my recruitment. We was just chopping it up and stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, this is real. Like my dad's not here no more to save me or anything. Like it's just me right now.
Yeah.
But I did mesh well with the guys for really well. Mikkel Sullivan, that was like my first friend. We had to take tests together at the I can't remember what hospital it was, but that was like my first friend that I met. I meshed well with the guys pretty fast, and I still talk to those people whether they're here at Mercer or they're not. I still talk to those people to this day. So I really got to build long-lasting relationships here at Mercer. And I when I was younger, I had thoughts about like, dang, like did I make the right choice? But like now that I'm here in the situation that I'm at right now, like I know for a fact I made the right choice of coming to Mercer. So that was really my experience when I first came here. Like it was wide open arms, like everybody was just loving on each other. So it was great. It was great.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, that's just you. Man, just talking about your dad doing that, man. It kind of obviously like reminds me of that on my side of it as the kid, but now also over halfway in terms of where my oldest son is at 10 of like,
Yeah,
man, that's like coming for him now. Like I'm gonna be on the
yeah,
other side of that. So it's like, man, powerful stuff. So
yeah.
look, like I know we don't have a whole lot of time here, but kind of talk now, if you will, about where you feel like your faith journey has grown. We have obviously talked a ton during our huddle
Mhm.
time about this, but where do you feel like maybe you talked about obviously growing up in the church a lot, going to do all of this, having your dad as a huge spiritual leader of the house and leader of the
Yeah,
family. So kind of built around that. But where do you feel like your faith journey is kind of taking you now
yeah,
at this stage of your life?
yeah. I can definitely talk about that. So I know, like I said earlier, like I was in church, but I wasn't really in it. I was just
Hmm.
there because I was forced to every Sunday. So, but I didn't have like a strong faith until my junior year. So freshman, sophomore year, once again, like I would be like, yeah, like God, like I believe in God, stuff like that. Like I go to church here and there.
Sure.
But that's cool and all. But I just inside it didn't really hit me like how it
Hmm.
should have been. So basically, my um, junior year of fall camp. Actually, let's go back. Let's go back. So sophomore year of the spring, I tear my labrum, my left labrum.
Hmm.
Um, Ended up getting surgery for it in December. So that happened, and then Coach Chronic left in January.
Yeah.
So I was just a kid with a sling for the new coaching staff, and
Yeah.
like you're basically like when you're hurt, like um, you're basically just another guy at the moment.
Someone else. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just someone else right now until you can get on the field and actually prove yourself. So I was stuck in the film room. Like I made sure like the coaches see me in the film room. Like I was writing up coverages, stuff like that. Like I was in the film room a lot.
Yeah.
Um, just doing my just doing regular
Yeah.
things. Yeah, just being around and having the coaches see me every day.
Hmm.
So then we move on. New coaching staff comes in, like I said, and then we move on. Then we go to junior year fall camp. I end up tearing my other labrum, my right shoulder. And I've always had like dislocations in my shoulder and whatnot. But I just played through it and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I ended up messing up my right shoulder in practice, and like that's when I knew I was like, bro, like I'm done. Like I
Mm.
can't do this no more. Like I was crying during practice. It was rough for me, man. Like I remember shout out Coach Fig. Um, I was we were under the tents, and I was just sitting there just crying, and he just came up to me and was like, man, like God got you, bro, like stuff like
Mm.
that. He was really just being an encouragement. Like I'll just never forget little things like that.
Yeah.
But I just knew deep down inside, like I just couldn't like I couldn't keep doing this to my body. Um, so so when I officially decided to stop playing football, um, I really had to find a new identity because
Yeah.
I know football was an idol. Like
Mm.
I said earlier about how much I was in the film room, I like to say to people, I was in the film room more than I was in church, or I was in the film room more than I was in my Bible praying, and stuff like that. So, like that moment when I had to stop playing football really got me closer to God because
Yeah.
I didn't have football to really lean back on like that. I didn't have that idol. And I tell people all the time, man, like you can't be idolizing this game because
Mm.
God can just take it just like that, just like that. Like it's really that quick. And I encourage people all the time, like just keep God first. Like don't ever put your sport
Mm.
first. Don't put friends, family first. Keep God first. Um, because as someone who idolized the sport, I loved it since I was 5 years old. Like I just wanted to achieve my dream. did all this type of stuff, I wanted to be successful so bad and didn't want to disappoint people back at home so bad that I idolized the game and not giving my life to Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still growing. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not perfect. And I know that, and I still have ways to go. But just knowing where I'm at now than where I'm at my freshman and sophomore year, I'm pretty proud of myself for how far I came, because I have a great group of guys as well, just holding me accountable, just making sure I'm okay, just keeping things up with me. And we just do little things, just talking about God and just spreading the word around and talking within each other, just being real with each other. Kendall Harris has been a big part of that. So it's just been great. But like, I just encourage everybody to just don't idolize your sport, because it's just not, it can go just like that. Especially sports don't last forever, but God lasts forever. So that's really much all I have to say about my journey. So,
man, amen, man. Dude, you know, it always makes you smile whenever we come in for our huddle time, and you know, hearing you and Kendall and a few of the other guys talk about, you know, the night before y'all were up for 3 hours talking about Bible stories and, you know, talking about life. And man, you know, like for you guys to be able to do that, this is something that, like, I try to tell y'all a lot, and I kind of share this with everyone else that's always asking about the ministry and everything, of just, you know, like there's so many of y'all college athletes that, you know, you could be anywhere else. Like, you know, no one's making you come to the FCA huddle or anything like that. It's not like, you know, any of your coaches are like, you know, go, you know, and y'all are still showing up, but not only showing up for that, but, you know, hearing y'all, like, you know, have these conversations, you know, on other nights of the week, and, you know, talking about Bible stories, talking about how do we apply this. And, you know, it just always makes you smile, man. Just, you know, obviously hearing that, like, you know, it's so funny, because whenever I hear y'all talk about it, like I instantly start thinking about at the end of my high school career going into college. And there was, like, I can still remember there was this one time, me and my, like, best friend, who I'm still close to now, we were like on like a 2-hour road trip, and all of a sudden we just got into this super deep conversation, you know, and we still to this day will always bring it up, man. Like, remember that time, like, we were in the car and we were, you know, because it was such a meaningful, and literally was just two guys talking about life. Right. I mean, it's literally as easy as it is in simple terms, but man, it could have profound effects on you, man. And like, to be able to hear y'all talk about the stuff y'all are going through, like, not only profound, like, effects in your life, but now eternally, you know, y'all are talking about, you know, building the kingdom. Like, it's not, you know, not trying to build the treasures here on earth, but actually building the treasures in heaven. And like, so I mean, like, I'm just always encouraged by y'all, and hearing that, you know, y'all are trying to be as proactive in the word as possible, and you know, just hungry for God, man.
Yes,
and it's awesome.
Yeah, man. And we, like I said, like, we really do appreciate you and what you've been doing for Mercer FCA. We definitely enjoy it, and we will continue to grow. We will continue.
Absolutely. Well, like, I know you got to head back over to the field house. We're gonna have to do a part two eventually, because you, like, not only that, but y'all, like, he's also, like, doing in the middle of, like, his student teaching right now.
Yeah.
So I was really wanted to talk a lot about that, because that's definitely in my world. And so, man, you got way more of a story, and, you know, way more stuff to share as well. But
that's a whole other.
That's a whole other topic. That's a whole other podcast. Absolutely. But man, Kaleb, this is an awesome story, man. I think everyone can kind of relate to this, and thank you so much for sharing, man.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you for having me.
All right, guys. Hey, thank y'all once again. Episode number 12 today, Mercer FCA podcast. We'll be back next week, Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Don't forget to scan that QR code and give. Think about it, pray about it, obey whatever God is telling you to do. And then also this week, homecoming. If the Bears win, 8-0 conference, wins and losses here on the line. So it's a big game. And also, Mercer FCA will have a tailgate. So come out to Blackfield, 11 a.m. Look for the big FCA tent, and come out and say hey. And hopefully you can meet some of these people that have been on the podcast. So
do that.
All right, guys. We will see y'all next week, Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. here, Mercer FCA podcast.